Ma'am, you can start now.
All right. Just let me know on my number whether the things are going okay or not, and share that link with me as well.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, one and all present here. As you know, today we are going to talk about interview skills, tips, and tricks at the time of interview. What should we follow and what we should remain at the very time quite conscious during delivery, presentation, and preparation in your interviews. So, yes, here we will be talking about interview. As we know, after placement or colleges, the first thing which comes to our mind is interview, job. Job करना तो है, लेकिन मिलेगा कैसे? Right? In the same manner, I need to be effective during interviews, but actually how? How this all can happen? Everyone prepares for interview, but where is the gap? So in today's session, I'm going to give you tips regarding your interview sessions. What to prepare, what to avoid, and what to keep in your mind at the very time during your interviews. So, yes, I'm going to share my slides here. Just give me one moment. All right. So, yes, as we are going to start with Interview Pro. See, talking about interview skills, talking about communication, what is the more important thing to keep in your mind? So, formal communication skills, I think, is the area which I need to work on, right? Many people see, I know what to say during interview, but how to say so, right? How to say in such a manner that yes, this will work. Of course, communication, your presentation actually matters. So, my dear students, if you are thinking during the time of communication, I might be a bit wrong, I might to take care of the thing, yes, you are right. We need to take care at the time of delivery part, right? what recruiters are looking in a candidate at the time of communication skills, and especially why communication skills are so important. You might be thinking everyone is talking about communication and communication, right? Yes, communication plays major role. ये तो हम सब जानते हैं. कम्युनिकेशन इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है इंटरव्यू में तो और भी ज्यादा. क्यों? क्योंकि इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे दे पीपल आर सेलेक्टिंग, ऑब्जर्विंग एंड एनालाइजिंग during interview timing, of course. So what to keep in mind during communication? The first thing is here, students, do not be very anxious during interview and how to speak. Of course, you need practice, you need tips and your hard work to do. But yes, you will be definitely able to communicate the same. There is no any doubt regarding your hard work as well as regarding your preparation. अगर हम बात करें सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन क्वेश्चन की, yes, self introduction is the important question at the time of communication, especially interview. To display your communication skills, self introduction is of course important here, right? But सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन करना कैसे है? सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन कौन सी पॉइंट्स हैं जो मेरे इंट्रोडक्शन को और बेटर कर सकते हैं? ऑफ कोर्स स्टूडेंट्स, मेनी कैंडिडेट्स डू फेल टू गिव फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन एट द टाइम ऑफ इंट्रोड्यूसिंग देमसेल्फ. यस, सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन जो अपने आप में बहुत फ्रीक्वेंट क्वेश्चन है, बहुत से कैंडिडेट उसको हैंडल करने में थोड़ी मिस्टेक करते हैं. And what is the mistake here? Mistake is that we think self-introduction is quite tough. But in actual manner, introducing yourself is the easiest task on this whole planet. Right. Why I'm saying so? Because at the time of introduction, what do we actually do? At the time of introduction, we actually are narrating, briefing our own life journey, our academic journey, which you have already done. सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन में हम कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं बोलते हैं जो बहुत प्रॉब्लमैटिक है. ऑफ कोर्स नॉट. सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन इज व्हाट इन विच यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ ओनली. सो व्हाई टू अफ्रेड ऑफ? इतना डरने की बात ही क्या है? इतना सोचने की जरूरत ही क्या है? राइट? ऑफ कोर्स, सेल्फ इंट्रोडक्शन इज द क्वेश्चन where recruiters initially make up their mind regarding your selection, regarding your performance. So pehli cheez, jo pehla tip of the day we can start with, self introduction is the easiest question, and this should be your performance and this should be a reaction towards recruiters at the time of actual interview delivery. इस क्वेश्चन से घबराने की बहुत जरूरत बिल्कुल नहीं है, because it is something, a question which you already know before your exam, right? क्योंकि इंटरव्यू से पहले ही आप सब जानते हैं कि इंट्रोडक्शन तो होना ही है. So in that case, if I say self introduction is the easiest question because you already know this question, so your practice should be perfect. Now let's talk about delivery. Second tip. Students, if you want to be confident, if you want to be effective, if you want to make your first and last impression during interview, तो delivery के time पर एक बात आप ध्यान रखिए. The time you are not audible clearly, जब तक आप की audibility मतलब आपकी आवाज ठीक से नहीं सुनाई देगी, which needs to be energetic. By the time आप कितना भी अच्छा बात करें, आपका इंट्रोडक्शन कितना ही प्रोफाइल स्ट्रॉन्ग क्यों नहीं है, but if you are not audible properly, effectively, recruiters can't pay attention. The moment you are energetic, you are keen, you are audible, these all ingredients are the recipe of confidence. तो अगर शॉर्ट में कहें, कॉन्फिडेंट होने के लिए करना क्या है? कॉन्फिडेंस की बात तो सब लोग करते हैं, लेकिन कॉन्फिडेंस होगा कैसे? कॉन्फिडेंस होता है आप जब आपकी परफॉर्मेंस में कॉन्फिडेंस सामने वाले को एक्सपीरियंस होता है, राइट? और वो कैसे होगा? जब आप एक ऑडिबल, हाई पिच, एनर्जेटिक वॉइस के साथ बात करेंगे. आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू टू शाउट, नो, बट एटलीस्ट इट शुड बी क्लियरली ऑडिबल. आपको सुनने के लिए और समझने के लिए सामने वाले को कोई दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए. और यही एक बहुत कॉमन प्रॉब्लम है जो बहुत से कैंडिडेट्स करते हैं. प्रिपरेशन तो हो गई है, लेकिन डिलीवरी के टाइम पर उनका वॉइस वॉल्यूम बहुत ज्यादा स्लो हो जाता है बात करने का. ऐसे केस में रिक्रूटर्स को ध्यान देकर उनकी बात सुननी और समझनी होती है. फ्रेंकली स्पीकिंग, नो वन विल टेक पेन टू अंडरस्टैंड यू, राइट? तो डिलीवरी के टाइम पर आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, ऑफ कोर्स दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू से इज itself important. So yes, communication should not be a problem for you people. Next बात करते हैं, what about soft skills? Soft skill is a question which we know many times recruiters do ask, or we can say this is frequently asked question. बहुत बार पूछे जाने वाला क्वेश्चन है, what about your soft skills? Tell me about your soft skills. अगर हम सॉफ्ट स्किल्स की बात करें तो पहली बात, हम इनको जनरल लैंग्वेज में पीपल स्किल्स और बिहेवियरल स्किल्स भी कहते हैं. व्हाट डू वी से? पीपल स्किल्स एंड बिहेवियरल स्किल्स. सो इफ समवन इज आस्किंग अबाउट योर बिहेवियरल स्किल्स, so you are supposed to answer your soft skills or your people skills. Now soft skill एक ऐसा टर्म है जो हमने सुना तो बहुत बार है, but we are not very sure about the same. What actually soft skills are, right? So my dear students, many times recruiters ask, what are your hard skills and what are your soft skills, right? In hard skills, you are supposed to answer your technical skills, आपकी achievement, आपकी academic qualification, and your skill set, your technical expertise, that is your hard skill. And what is your behavioral quality? Which kind of person you are, how you are good at management and all, that comes under soft skills. होता क्या है, सॉफ्ट स्किल्स को देखते ही हम सोचते हैं सॉफ्ट स्किल्स का मतलब होता है कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, राइट? Of course, communication skills comes under soft skill, लेकिन केवल communication skill ही soft skill नहीं होता. There are other number of your skill sets which come under the category of soft skills, right? आपकी जितनी भी behavioral skills हैं, your friendly attitude, your interpersonal skills, your leadership, managing, coordination, politeness, kindness, these also do come under your behavioral skills. तो अगर आप ये सोचते हैं इंटरव्यू में सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में केवल कम्युनिकेशन करना है, आंसर सुनो, आपकी अदर बिहेवियरल स्किल्स भी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में आती हैं. नाउ द क्वेश्चन कम्स हियर, मैम हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई सॉफ्ट स्किल्स? टेक्निकल स्किल्स, हार्ड स्किल्स तो हम सब जानते हैं, लेकिन सॉफ्ट स्किल्स क्या? तो सॉफ्ट स्किल्स होती हैं, जैसा कि मैंने आपको कहा, बिहेवियरल स्किल्स. और अगर आपको अपनी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स आइडेंटिफाई करना है, फर्स्ट थिंग, लेट मी गिव यू योर नेक्स्ट टिप हियर. योर नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टिप इज हियर. बहुत बार सॉफ्ट स्किल्स के टाइम पर बाकी कैंडिडेट्स जो आंसर कर रहे हैं, वेदर लीडरशिप स्किल्स, their relationship management, stress management, conflict management, we also do answer the same. Somehow we do copy paste it, but this should not happen. Why? Leadership skills you have copied from any other candidate's resume, but if HR asks you, how you can say you have good leadership skills? या आपने अपनी लीडरशिप स्किल्स कहां प्रूव करी हैं? देन डू यू हैव द आंसर ऑफ द सेम? इफ यस, देन वेरी गुड, बट इफ नो, देन हाउ you are going to handle this question? So my suggestion to all of you is, एट द टाइम ऑफ सॉफ्ट स्किल्स आप वो ही बिहेवियरल स्किल्स मेंशन करिए विच यू एक्चुअली डू हैव. अगर आपने कहीं स्पोर्ट्स में, गेम्स में, स्कूल कॉलेज में आप कैप्टन, हेड गर्ल, हेड बॉय, मॉनिटर, ऐसा कोई आपके पास टास्क था, where you used to manage your class, your group or something, yes, you can say I have leadership skills. In case even if you are a fresher, being a fresher, हमने कहीं जॉब तो नहीं किया है, लेकिन अपने स्कूल और कॉलेज में हम फुटबॉल टीम के कैप्टन थे, राइट? एनसीसी, एनएसएस, इसमें हम लीडर थे. Yes, you can say then leadership skills, right? So this is the manner how to identify your soft skills here. अगर आप कहीं आपने अपने स्कूल कॉलेज लेवल पर इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज करे थे, उनको प्रॉपरली रन किया था, आप कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी में थे, या इस तरह की कोई भी एक्टिविटी आप क्लब होकर परफॉर्म करते थे ड्यूरिंग टेक्निकल इवेंट और कल्चरल इवेंट, यू यूज्ड टू ऑर्गेनाइज समथिंग, यू हैव गुड coordination or management skills. And one more important thing here, if someone asks you how you can say you do have management skills or coordination skills, then yes, you have the answer to come. You have the perfect answer to explain it. So students, it happens many times that we copy paste behavioral skills from somewhere else, and when the question comes here, how to do the same, we don't have any answer. But if you identify your soft skills like that, then yes, you will be able to answer effectively. So we talked about what we should do during the time of starting of interview, your self introduction, and now here comes the soft skills. Next, ये बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन होता है कि रिक्रूटर्स इंटरव्यू के टाइम पर क्वेश्चंस कहां से पूछे जाएंगे, क्या बेसिस होते हैं, व्हाट आर द बेसिस व्हिच फॉर्म योर इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस. बहुत बार कैंडिडेट्स बोलते हैं मैम अगर इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस पहले ही पता चल जाएं तो प्रिपरेशन बहुत इजी हो जाएगा, राइट? ऑफ कोर्स. नाउ लेट मी गिव यू सम हिंट हियर. रिक्रूटर्स कैसे क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं. One thing, keep in your mind at the time of interview preparation that recruiters do ask questions on the basis of your previous statements many times. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? जब आप इंटरव्यू में अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देते हैं या बाकी इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस you are handling at the very time, recruiters may generate the next question out of your previous answer. अभी जैसे हमने किया, let's take an example here. Many candidates say reading is my hobby, right? Reading is my hobby. Now the next question can be, what do you read? Which kind of literature or books do you like? Okay, I like English literature, Marathi literature, so on. Tell me some books which you have read or any one of your favorite one. Luckily, might be recruiter has also read the same book or the person has the idea about the same, then the conversation goes further. So this is the way how many interview questions do generate from your previous answer or what you have answered earlier. Right, students, as you know, we are going to talk about interview pro, and here I'm just giving you the idea, the bit hint regarding your interview preparation, but the full chapter and the detailed study regarding interview kaise hota hai, recruiters, what can be the individual questions according to your profile, what can be the actual tips and tricks to do during your self introduction, all these things will be covered in detail in your interview pro. Right, interview pro is the product here which will prepare you to help your next job interview. Of course, after practice and this detailed study, the questions during interview are going to be definitely easier. I can assure you this thing, if you are learning this product accordingly, then interview will not be a reason of nervousness. No. Instead of nervousness, you people are going to be excited because everything which is required for interview preparation, you will definitely find that in interview room. So this, how do recruiters ask questions? In general, what you are saying can be the base of your next interview question. So, what should you do? Whatever you are saying, you need to be completely sure about the same. Like I have given you example regarding leadership skills. If you are saying I'm having leadership skills, management skills, or problem solving skills, they might definitely ask you how you can say you have problem solving skills, where you have proved them. So these are obvious questions which recruiters do ask. And many times candidates do not think in that way. And when the same answer comes to you in the form of question, then we find it quite tricky. So yes, whatever you are writing in your resume, your details, your achievement, your certification, your hobbies, sometimes you are talking about likes and dislikes, these are the very basis that recruiters may ask question on the previous statements narrated by you. So yes, be sure what you are going to say next. Yes, here we come on why do students get rejected? Many times candidate ask this, ma'am, I gave answers, mostly answers I attempted quite well. From my side, interview was quite good, but they didn't select me. But they told me to work on my communication skills, although I was speaking in English. So, my dear students, to all those who are not able to find the gap between recruiter and the candidate's performance, you need to reverse all the preparation and find out where the loopholes, where the actual problem is. Talking about communication, many candidates do say that I answered in English, but still they said me to work on your communication skills. So many times, what happens, the language which you are using, right? The sentences you are framing might be incorrect. That's why the big question comes on your command over English language and your communication becomes questionable. Because during your job, if you are handling, you are doing any project, people expect you to discuss your project assignment with your colleagues, with your team members. Sometimes you need to give instructions, you need to convey information, and your way of conveying the information is not correct, is not appropriate. Definitely, MNC, multinational companies, those who give major importance to communication skills, you may face rejection over there. So, what should I do in that case? Students, to be confident, the first key of confidence is correctness. By the time you are not correct, you cannot be completely confident. Sometimes maybe you will be able to fake it sometimes, but not for a longer one. So, why you are feeling rejection? First, check. The first point is your way of communication, conveying of information is appropriate and correct? First thing. Second thing, the gap sometimes comes that your preparation is not as per the expectation of the recruiters. And here comes your major important point. Many candidates do prepare for their interviews. Of course, they do practice as well, but your practice is in the same direction which leads towards the selection. आप प्रैक्टिस तो कर रहे हैं, बट क्या आपका प्रेजेंटेशन रिक्रूटर्स के एक्सपेक्टेशन को फुलफिल कर रहा है? You need to check the gap. If there is any gap, recruiter is expecting something else and you are answering something else, definitely this is not going to work. So you need to check on your preparation part, recruiter's expectation part, and the way of your communication and delivery of information. It plays major role over there. Next, what can be the best way to answer during interview? This question comes in almost everyone's mind. What should be the way during interview which leads towards my selection, so that I can crack the particular job interview quite effectively? Everyone wants to be selected at the very first time. This is not that you need to handle many questions before your selection. You can crack your even first job interview. किसी भी इंटरव्यू को क्लियर करने के लिए you do not need to experience many rejections. No. Yes, rejections also do give a lesson, but it is not always necessary to be rejected first and then selected. It will be really brilliant that if you will be able to mark from the very first interview. So, how to answer during interview? The first thing is your preparation, as I told you, is in the same way with recruiter's expectation. Many times we do prepare, but not keeping in the mind what others want. And keep on speaking and giving details. Check it once. These details are actually necessary to know for the recruiter. Am I exaggerating anything? Exaggerating means बहुत ज़्यादा उसको stretch करके बोलना. More than required. I'm answering. The details which you are giving, does it make any difference for this job? Does this play any role towards your selection? If not, you need to change the way of your preparation, and your answers needs to be brief, trim accordingly what recruiters want. Getting? So before preparing the answer, you need to check it twice whether my answer is making any sense over that. If this question comes and my answer is this, is it answering the actual point which recruiter is asking? Sometimes what happens, recruiter is asking something else and we are replying something else. Both of the things are quite different, which should not be. And one more important point is here, sometimes recruiter is asking the same question, but the way of asking the question is different. तो आपको पहले क्वेश्चन को समझना है कि पूछा क्या जा रहा है और फिर आपको उसको आंसर करना है. And the best way to answer during interview is answering the same thing which recruiter is asking. Do not divert from here to there. Many times candidate keeps on speaking, but the answer doesn't fulfill the demand or the question of the recruiter. It doesn't make any sense over there. What you need to do, what recruiter is asking. Okay, if the person is asking regarding your work experience, then the person is trying to check whether you worked over there properly or not. आपने काम तो किया था, company was quite good, but I would like to know about your role and responsibility. Okay, you have done this project on this and this technology, but how did you use that? Maybe it was a group project. So what was your role play over there? Right? आपका project में क्या contribution था? Okay, you did the internship for 6 months or 8 months, but it is the matter of only time or what you learned. Many times candidate mention about certification or internship, but at the time of mentioning about internship or certification, we do not check why recruiter is asking for internship. They are asking to see your practical knowledge. Do you have any practical knowledge? आपने इंटर्नशिप किया तो 8 मंथ्स का है, लेकिन करने के लिए वहां पर एक्चुअल कुछ काम नहीं किया है. You didn't learn anything properly. So, while mentioning your certification, your technical skills, your expertise, and many other portions, you need to check मेरी technical skills क्यों पूछी जा रही है? What is the reason behind that? And the answer is yes, they want to know whether you know to operate or work on it or not. Yes, I know. So when you are mentioning technical skills, along with that, be ready to explain if asked what you did in this technology. Programming में आपको कितना आता है? Coding में आपकी क्या expertise है? Right? Only simply saying I know C++, I know Python may not be sufficient. What you have done in Python, what practical work you have done actually, they're asking. So the best way to answer during interview is what question has been asked. First, think in your mind why this question is being asked. What recruiter's actual intention before this question, right? इसके पीछे का actual meaning theme क्या है? What they are trying to ask to me. And if you are not answering that, then recruiter may not be satisfied with the proper particular statement. So students, these are some tips for today's regarding your interview. We have started with self-introduction, how you should tackle introductory questions, initial questions, how recruiters ask questions, what are their expectations at the time of answering, at the time of your interview questions. Then soft skill, how to answer soft skill, how to handle it. If being asked again, how do you have these soft skills? Then you can be able to find out your own behavioral skills over that. What is the difference between hard skills and soft skills? And how to identify your own achievements at the time of telling your soft skills. Yes, what are the major categories from where recruiters ask questions, and what are the things we need to keep in mind answering during interview. So now students, this is a glance only regarding interview preparation. During interview pro, you will be trained. The topics of interview pro do include from the very beginning till the completion and your placement activity, right? It includes every important topic which is required for your interview preparation. Not only for freshers, but even those who are working and want to hike in their career or looking for another job, this interview pro project is quite effective. Because in the very beginning of the project, first we are talking about language enhancement. Every point regarding interview somehow sum up with communication skills. And for communication skills, we need to be confident, of course, but correct as well. जब तक आप गलत बोल रहे हैं, confident नहीं हो पाएंगे. So in the initial unit, you will find language enhancement topic. We understand at this level, we cannot cover whole English language book over there. So for your convenience, we have identified 5 major topics related to English language, which are actually necessary to speak and write correct English. So first, you will get content on how to be correct with English language. Once this topic is done, then we have vocabulary building. With language enhancement, your sentences are correct, but we also need words to frame sentences. Sometimes students say we struggle to find appropriate word. So in vocabulary building, you will find strategies to build your vocabulary further, and especially during इंटरव्यू के टाइम पर vocabulary अपनी कैसे better करनी है. Many times candidates say, ma'am, how we can be sound different, how can we sound better than others. So these strategies you will learn in vocabulary building. Once your language enhancement is done, vocabulary building is done, the third major topic is here, public speaking skills, spoken English part. Now sentences are correct, vocabulary is good, but how to gain confidence in front of when you are interacting in front of a group or during your office hours. At the time of English speaking, what strategies can be followed to be fluent and to be effective? This you will be learning in spoken English part. And then we do have email writing. As we all know, email is an important part of your day-to-day official communication. And many, you can say, major time during your offices sometimes consume in your email writing, replying, and sending. So email writing, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, email etiquettes, what should we follow, what should we take in our mind, what can be the proper format, what are the things we should avoid, that all you will be learning in email writing. After that, we do start with your placement activity, interview preparation and interview skills, not only from candidate's point of view, but from recruiter's point of view. For a particular job, which kind of questions will come, how should be your perspective towards the interview, that all in detail you will have in interview skills. Your interview skills preparation and placement activity starts with the very common question till individual questions which sometimes come to person, right? I will give you some tips and tricks how questions from your own resume to generate. वो कौन सी कैटेगरीज हैं जिनसे मुझसे ही क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा, right? If I'm searching for career, being a civil engineer, searching for career in IT, then why you are changing your field. अगर आपकी एजुकेशन में गैप है तो उसको कैसे हैंडल करना है, अगर आपका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस में गैप है वो हाउ यू कैन कवर इट अप, and many more other questions which are related to interview and frequently HR to ask. And of course, why should we hire you, your strengths and weaknesses, where do you see yourself after 5 years, and many questions which almost every second HR asks. So interview skills covers with the fundamental questions, situational question, your resume based question, and other categories which are completely essential. After placement activity, where you will also be learning about group discussion, extempore, what are the tricks for your speaking, what are the points to keep in mind at the time of delivery, these all. Once your interview skills preparation is done, you will be having expert session on soft skills, leadership skills by industry experts, right? And other soft skills topic which are completely essential in during your work, during your formal communication. So yes, that all you are going to have in your interview flow. Along with that, CV writing, resume writing in detail, right? So students, this is interview pro product, and where you can learn about you can prepare yourself for your next job interview in a very easy manner. The best thing is that the delivery part of the video is really easy. It is not completely in English. It is a good mixture of Hindi as well as English. Along with that, you will be having doubt clearing session after every major topic has been covered, with lots of activities, with lots of strategies, everything which is quite explanatory, you can find it out. So I hope you'll be good to go with this interview pro product. this is quite worth. If you really want to be in this competitive line, you need to prepare perfectly, because time is that what you are answering is important, but how you are answering is itself important. And all these things you will learn in non-verbal communication, body language कैसा होना चाहिए, क्या गलतियां होती हैं, क्या छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स होते हैं जो रिक्रूटर्स ध्यान रखते हैं बट कैंडिडेट जनरली इतना माइंड में नहीं रखते. That all in detail you will be getting in interview. So what are you waiting for? Go for this product and have a look, check the content, and I can assure you will definitely like this. It is quite worth. So that's all for today's. Keep learning, keep practicing. That's it.